Okay, in this video I want to demonstrate to you how to use the Reader Manager. So I right-clicked on this 10-minute chart, tap the T key for TTP, and then I'll load the Reader Manager right there. The form location and size, if it ever ends up off the screen to where you can't find it, you can zero this out. You can just set it to 0, 0, and you can actually control the size of the width and the height. So anyway, click on OK to load it, and it should show up in the top left corner of your main monitor. And then here I've dragged it over now. You'll see that I have several different indicator readers here. All of these are from this current workspace. So I have 4 different charts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and each of them is either a target chart with the indicator readers on them, such as this one, or a source chart with the indicators that I'm actually copying to the target chart. So this would be the target chart with all of the indicator readers. This would be the source chart with all of the other indicators that I'm copying. So here you can see I have Bloodhound on this chart. What I've done is I've actually changed these 2 charts. This chart, I think it was a 500 tick, or I'm not sure exactly, but this chart over here was a 30-minute chart. Okay, you can see once the change is made, it will update and tell you what the reader chart is. The reader chart is this. This is the target chart, the chart that has the readers on them. So that would be this chart. That's the reader chart. And then the source chart is the chart that we're reading. So that would be this chart on the left. You can see the values are updated here. And I'll click on that refresh button just to make sure that it's updated all of them. Looks like this one is not actually accessing anything. I must have deleted that chart. So there's an indicator reader somewhere which is completely disconnected. So I'll worry about that later. But right now, to show you what the problem is, when I change the reader chart and the source chart, that change is not necessarily reflected in Bloodhound, because when I open up the solver, you see it's still showing the 30-minute here. It's actually connected to this chart, but it won't save properly until you actually make that change and then open up the template and save it. Or you can simply close the template. So every time I click on this little red X in the top right corner, that actually saves the Bloodhound template. So to get around this and make it much easier to do, rather than having to open up every single one of these solvers, what I can do is simply come to the Reader Manager. Look at that. What is that? That's the 1-minute chart. So I'll change this. I'll select this one, all of the indicator readers that are on that 1 minute, and I'll update the string here just to make sure that it's lining up properly. So that one's set to 10-minute. This one is fine. It's set to 10-minute. Okay, some of these are inside of Bloodhound though. That one's still set to 10-minute. Okay. This one is set to 30-minute, you see? The source chart is the 10-minute, but it's set to the 30-minute, so that's panel 1, Bollinger. So I need to find the 10-minute panel 1 Bollinger. 10-minute panel 1 Bollinger right there, you see? Right there. So now when I open up Bloodhound and close it, it will save with those proper settings. And I can just run through this quickly. See, this says 30-minute, okay, but it's not. It's a 10-minute, panel 1 Bollinger, 10-minute, panel 1 Bollinger, and this is 30-minute. I'm not sure. Oh, that's from an untitled workspace. I must have another workspace open. Let's see. Yeah, I got a workspace open here. Let me close that. Okay. Makes me wonder where that's at, actually. It must be in here somewhere. See, this one's set to 30-minute. 30-minute MACD, panel 3. 30, okay, so we change it to the 10-minute, panel 3, MACD. There we go. And this one is the 30-minute MACD as well. Must be looking at the average. So we change it to the 10-minute panel 3 MACD. Okay, we're good to go now. So that's what's great about this Reader Manager. It will tell you if you have an indicator reader or any other reader with all of our different software. We have different readers for the volume analyst, for the divergences pro, for the market geometry from the toolbar, for the volume profiles. So it will tell you when one is disconnected or if the status is disabled, whether it's in Bloodhound or Blackbird or not, or in the market analyzer. And you can refresh them and then recalculate them if anything is wrong. Okay, so you can manage all of those reader indicators from right here, because this is, it's pretty complex software. And the fact that there are so many different moving parts, we're copying indicators from different charts, we're accessing values, calculations, whatever from other charts, really just the values of those indicators, whether from the data series or from the plots. But because of that connection, you would want some sort of method to ensure that that connection is still sound, and with this Reader Manager you can do that. Typically when you start up or after you connect to data, you may notice that some of these are disconnected. So after the charts have loaded, the workspaces have loaded, just bring up the Reader Manager and refresh, and then recalculate all, and you should be good to go for the rest of the day. Unless of course your data feed disconnects, or your computer crashes and you have to restart. So typically after you start up, connect to data, come to the Reader Manager, refresh, and then recalculate all, and then just make sure that each one of the readers is attached properly to another chart. And another added benefit of the reader is the fact that when you're accessing the indicators from within Bloodhound, you are 100% ensured that you have the exact settings from the indicator that appears on the chart. So with Bloodhound, typically you would have to load the indicator into the solver and then try to make the properties match up with whatever's on the chart. With a reader, it copies the properties from the chart. It's actually copying the indicator from the chart, so you know for a fact that it's using the same exact properties. Just one more thing quickly before I forget. In order to save the settings for these solvers in Bloodhound that we've just manipulated inside of the Reader Manager here, we need to go ahead and reload Bloodhound. Let's just make sure that it's telling you what is loaded here in the solver. So this is actually what the solver is showing inside of Bloodhound, and you see they match up now. So it's no longer 30-minute and 10-minute, it's 10-minute and 10-minute. So yeah, we're good to go. So just double check that, open up the Bloodhound template and open up a solver. Yeah, that one's set to 10. Now let's check the last one. Yeah, that one's set to 10 minutes. So now we're good to go. We can close that, it's saved. And we know that that Bloodhound template, oh, that's why it was set to 6E earlier. It's because I had changed not only the chart type period, but I had also changed the instrument. So this is actually the CL. Okay, well you can see these are all definitely accessing that 10-minute crude oil chart now. And that's showing here in the Reader Manager. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the Reader Manager. There are a couple of other things that we could do with the reader. We could put it into the market analyzer, and we're actually going to have a training session on that on Thursday. Today is actually Tuesday, the 24th of October, 2017. So we'll have a training session on how to do that on Thursday, 2 days from now.